we have these crossroads. And you know, either way you choose, your life is going to be different.
The universe doesn't exist, but God thinks it does.
We have to stop consuming our culture. We have to create culture.
Stupidity has a definite evolutionary function. I am all for abolishing stupidity, but before it goes, we should pay tribute to it.
Hello, friends both young and old, mortal, and friends who are unravaged by the horrors of time. Welcome to the Nonsense Bazaar. I'm Ascended Master Sequoia Kennedy.
And I'm Willow Truman.
Nice.
What, do you want me to say something?
No, that was just the slow pause. It was,
I've got to build up some suspense.
Hell yeah.
The people waiting to hear what I'm going to say.
Now I just sound like a fucking arrogant asshole.
I was like, should I say I'm an Ascended Master? I'm like, no, not. I haven't reached that point.
Should have just called you
yet.
The receiver, Willow Truman.
Yeah. I'm the alcoholic master. Pass me another beer, please.
For sure. Madame Willow Truman.
Yes, thank you.
Now, why are we talking about Ascended Masters?
Yeah, why are we?
So, I was kind of looking for it's been a busy couple weeks, and I was looking for a kind of, I don't know, I wanted something paranormal. I wanted something, on the more woo-woo kind of strange side of things.
Something a little fun.
I went through this, it was a roller coaster of emotions with this story, because at first I was like, oh, this will be great. And then I was like, oh, you know what? There's not really a lot here. And then all of a sudden I've got a cork board. I'm reading fucking pages of diaries that may or may not have actually existed from one of Marie Antoinette's court ladies.
Harry Horse might have forged them.
For fuck's sake, maybe he did. I don't know at this point.
Right?
Because it just turned...
The rabbit hole goes deep.
All of a sudden, this story that I was a little worried about, not having that much to it, is just the craziest fucking bullshit I've ever found in my life. So, yeah, we're going to go through some of this.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and this bullshit doesn't really have a name. It does have a title. The Count of Saint Germain. The Count as in Count Chocula or the Count from Sesame Street.
Count Chocula is hot. He's always reminded me of Andy Samberg. They look alike.
I can't deny that.
If there was a movie, Andy Samberg would play Count Chocula.
You look alike.
Who would play Frankenberry?
Oh, Tom Hanks.
Okay, cool. All right.
I don't know that many. I feel like I could have gone for a deeper cut, but.
Oh, we got Blueberry too. I don't know who Blueberry would be though. Like. Haley Joel Osment.
So, the Count of Saint Germain.
Yes.
This guy was a dude, I think. No, he was. And that much we know for sure, but beyond that.
Definitely a dude.
He was definitely a dude. Actually, maybe, he might have been a lady. Could have been. We
don't know. Not relevant.
Not relevant. Anyway, this Count, I think I'm just going to call it. I'll either call him the Count or Saint Germain, or I'll say the whole thing. The
SG.
Count of Saint Germain. In French, it's Comte or Comte, Saint Germain. I don't know how to pronounce that.
I am not. I
don't do it.
I like to do the accent, funny voice thing, but I'm not doing the French one.
I only do the French accent when I'm making fun of fat Canadian conspiracy theorists and shit.
Oh, smell like a French fry.
Fucking poutine bearded Jesus soldiers. But the Count of Saint Germain was this. There's a lot of cheap articles that are the real most interesting man in the world, and he was this guy who existed in some of the royal courts in the 1700s when no one else in those courts knew his real name. They only knew him as the Count of Saint Germain. He's described as an occultist, an alchemist, a mystic, a philosopher, an adventurer, a composer, a general friend to the wealthy and powerful.
He has got it going on, basically.
Yeah.
He's basically just a friend and compatriot of the wealthy. What?
Well, he had some skills.
Okay.
He was an alchemist. He could do some tricks.
Yeah, he was magicking it up.
He was really good at making dyes, to dye clothes and shit. That was a thing he actually definitely could do.
Oh my God, he's Rumpelstiltskin. You can't know his real name, and he can do magic.
That's a good guess.
It's something, because I'm thinking alchemist, spinning the straw into gold and stuff,
Yeah. No, he would do that shit. He would he had this trick he would do where
he took
with
people's
King
firstborn sons.
Well, no, King Louis the 15th. There's a story from like multiple sources of this fucking guy saying to King Louis, "Yo, you've got like 5 little diamonds there. I can do this thing where I can take those 5 little diamonds and I'll turn them into one fucking big diamond."
Oh my God!
Yeah, and so King Louis the 15th gave him the 5 diamonds, and then like the next day he did his alchemist shit, and then overnight and then there was a big diamond.
How'd he do it?
How'd he do it?
Did he just have like one big diamond?
Or did he just have a fucking quartz and cut it in a way that looked like a diamond? And just
honestly, how's the king gonna know? He's not gonna know.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah. This dude just
con
making off
man.
with diamonds.
I love him.
Yeah.
We have like a thing for con men on our show.
I love con men.
I do too.
I fucking love con men.
Like before we did this, and before we ever even talked about doing a podcast together, I had this idea for a show, and I even made a thumbnail for it called Flim Flam, and it was going to be all about like cons and scams and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
But there's a lot of our content that overlaps with that. So I'm glad we're doing another good old con man.
Yeah. He is a con man. I kind of just realized this is also a con man story. And well, he conned himself to some, if you can imagine, heights beyond
I can.
kings and queens.
I really can.
He might have conned himself to the highest heights. Ascended heights.
Ain't that how it goes?
Beyond the already like bullshit sounding idea of like hanging out with kings and queens all over fucking Europe, because he was in like England or the Netherlands and France. This dude also made his way into like into theosophy, so into like modern new age fucking thought and shit.
So basically he was woven into the fabric of sort of Western esotericism.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way. Yeah, he was woven into the fabric, sort of, like only by the bullshit side. Mm-hmm. Like this comes through theosophy,
because they'll take any like obscure figure and rewrite, the history.
We'll get into that, but like people have come up with it after this dude's supposed death. Well, because the other thing this dude would do is he would apparently just like offhandedly like remark about like, oh, I'm 500 years old and shit like that, right?
Yeah. What, you didn't know like people that did that?
Yeah, I would do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that shit. But he would just like offhandedly say that stuff, and he was apparently like a brilliant like mystic. Like the number of like compositions that are attributed to him are huge, like music compositions. Right?
Awesome.
It's a ton. And like this dude was apparently good? Like it's, I don't know what chamber music in that time period.
Oh, okay.
It's not my jam.
Chamber music. What does chamber music mean? What is a chamber? What happens in a chamber? Because I think it's something creepy.
A lot of powdery wigs and shit.
Okay, I don't like it. That is creepy. Is it dark in the room?
I mean, they don't have electricity. It's fucking candlelight. Chandeliers, Yeah.
Fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Men in wigs, like,
yes.
I want to hear some if we can in a bit.
We absolutely will.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Don't worry. So, and hold that thought about the creepiness of this time period.
All right.
So this dude, he was also like a brilliant mystic and philosopher and shit, according to the people around him.
Brilliant mystic or good cold reader?
Or just like smart guy.
Yeah, there you go. Observational, good with people.
Maybe this is like another character, like, well, a lot of the characters we talk about. A guy who's just like, maybe this is like the archetypal, like, mystic outlaw, like, fucking Harry Horse, John McAfee, like, fucking, these characters.
Even fucking, oh my God. I want to say theosopher, but that's not what Mark Braun goes by.
Right. Quasi-luminous.
Quasi-luminous. He has another name that starts with a TH.
He's,
yeah, quasi-luminous almost even, except he doesn't, he seeks no monetary profit from it. He's got
a couple rungs up the ladder to go before he
Yeah. But it is a type for sure.
But yeah, and like this, what does a brilliant mystic mean? It's like he had really cool ideas. Well, actually,
that's good at like seeing between the, I don't know.
We'll hear what some of his contemporaries said about him.
Okay.
Because like I have to reiterate, this was a real dude.
Yeah.
This dude exists. He got like Voltaire dropped some sick burns on him and shit. Mm-hmm. And he met Casanova, and like we have in Casanova's diary. He was just like a piece of shit that got like he's got his name turned into a synonym for womanizing.
Yeah.
It's just, that's what he's famous for. And he was also a writer and shit. So.
Oh, I was thinking of bossa nova. In my head, I was like, do, 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 do. And I'm thinking of like little, castanets and stuff.
Like he's a real Casanova.
Yeah, he's a real castanet. He's a real boss nova. Okay.
So, but then like, after his, like, he says he's like from all this, like he's 500 years old, right? And he says that like he apparently has all this like wisdom and knowledge that seems like fucking wild to people. Doesn't ever really eat anything, right? And, then also there's like some diary entries from people written after he died saying they saw him. Like he came back essentially from the dead and like warned part of Marie Antoinette's court about the French Revolution before it happened. Right. And like, and saved this woman's life from this diary. And we'll take a closer look at that in a second. And then Helena Blavatsky said that he was one of the ascended masters of theosophy. And then this weird theosophy offshoot that I just kind of started looking into called the I am activity, which is the creepiest fucking name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
The I am something about the activity. The I am activity.
The activity
like,
makes me feel like, I don't know, I'm in kindergarten.
It makes my fucking skin crawl, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that name. Where the activity? Like, oh, I fucking hate it. Oh my God. It seems just as like pure evil. I love. But anyway, they turned him into this like almost, he's in the same league as Jesus. Right.
With all of the, after his death, all these stories about him. And,
yeah.
we're still seeing him. But like, so with the person who saw him and it saved her life, if the ghost of a dead guy came to me and told me some shit about you need to do this or else you're going to die, I'm listening to him. I'll be like, I'm going crazy. But
he was a real dude. And he like, according to this diary, like, he had this lady take him to Marie Antoinette.
So he did this like before he died, or his ghost did this?
Ascended master.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
So
we'll get into it.
Okay.
We're gonna start a little earlier though.
Okay. All right. My brain is starting to swell.
There's a timeline on there's a site called, I think it's like the search for Saint Germain or something. Mm-hmm. Probably .blogspot.com. And there's like a timeline that starts in the age of the dinosaurs. And it's like, how'd you get this?
The age of the dinosaurs?
Literally. But also, this lady says, don't come at her with the fucking I am activity Saint Germain stuff. Because like, yeah, they even think that that's bullshit. So that's a whole, eventually we're going to take a hard left down bullshit
Ave. There's multiple branches that have different interpretations.
And again, real dude. Mm-hmm. We can listen to his music.
Yeah.
And there's also a story about him, some guy calling himself Jacques Saint Germain, moving to New Orleans in the 1900s and being a vampire. He said he was the son of the Count.
Yes! Yeah. We have vampires in this, yes! Sure. Well, that makes sense. He's supposed to be like immortal. He's a vampire.
Sometimes the bullshit can run deeper than you think.
No, it's like sometimes the bullshit is never fucking ending, which is what I've learned. It doesn't end.
It
snowballs.
Bullshit.
It snowballs into each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just live in a cosmic web of nonsense.
So, he was channeled by Edgar Casey. He's seen as the herald of the age of Aquarius and this like immortalness. Like, yeah.
I'm sure there's a ton of like theosophists and a ton of people that have channeled him, because that's what people do with the ascended masters is they channel them and talk as them and say the spirit of Buddha is now talking through me or whatever.
Yeah. So, okay. I think we should set the scene.
I think so too. I think that's a good idea.
So I'm going to play some.
What year is it?
So officially, this dude was born around 1710.
Okay.
Between 1691 and 1712. And he officially died in 1784. Throughout his life, this dude deliberately obscured his real name and origins and used pseudonyms and fake titles to great effect. And some of these like fake titles included the Marquis de Montferrat, Comte de Bellemare, Chevalier Schenning. That's great. That's a great fake name. Chevalier Schenning.
Yeah.
Count Weldon, Comtesse Soltikoff, and Graf Zrogi. It's impossible to say, so no one's going to call you
push it out. Oh, come on.
Graf Zrogi. Probably like that.
Zrogi.
So
Wait. And Prince Rogowski.
Well, Prince Rogowski.
Or is that not him?
That's
because I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page.
That turns out to be, that is probably his real name.
Oh,
Don't read you're spoiling yourself.
Okay, I'm not scrolling through it. I have it open and I'm just looking at him.
Don't spoil yourself.
I don't want to spoil it. These are quite a few names. I love it. There's probably more than that's on that list though, but that's a good technique.
Okay, so like, and there's some other theories as to who this fucking dude was beyond like ascended masters and shit. Like, because like not all the people who are looking for Saint Germain like are part of that shit, right?
Right.
Also, he supposedly lives on the top of Mount Shasta.
Oh, my fucking God.
That's his house.
Yeah. Okay.
So other identities that people associate with him include the alchemist Nicholas Flamel, who, according to legend, invented the Philosopher's Stone.
Dude.
Sir Francis Drake.
No, you can't do this, people.
They think he's Sir Francis Drake, which is usually wrapped up in the theory that Sir Francis Drake was William Shakespeare. So by extension,
he must.
The Count is also William Shakespeare. I was
wondering if Shakespeare was going to play into this, actually. Yes. Okay.
Because that was a couple hundred years before this dude was around. But
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He's 500 years old. He's a vampire. Exactly. He's whatever. He's still here. I don't know. He's in Hollywood right now. Who is he? He's an actor.
He's listening right now. I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
If he existed, he would be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's in this room right now.
He's in that fucking bathroom.
I am him, actually.
So you're the ascended master.
Mm-hmm.
The student has become the master.
Yes, I feel comfortable saying it now. I've come a long way in the last half hour.
Oh, Christ. All right, who else we got? We got Saint Joseph, the dude who wasn't actually Jesus' father.
Okay.
The prophet Samuel, who's last of the Hebrew judges.
Okay, at this point...
Merlin.
Just say that he's everybody. Everybody is everybody, okay?
Everybody's everybody.
Like, at this point, that's so many fucking people.
And
how has the consensus been, like,
I don't think that's a consensus.
Or is this just
I think there's probably like 12 people that think he's Merlin.
Yeah.
There's probably like 12 people that think...
There's probably so many different theories on, like, who...
Because the person writing this list of names that I got this
like
from...
Like fan fiction.
Well, they're just, like, scouring the internet for shit.
Yeah.
Right? And so they see people posting stuff about who they think fucking the Count of Saint Germain is. And they go, oh, people think it's... But it's just one guy in fucking a basement in Arkansas going, I bet he's Merlin.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what's fun about that is, I guess, if it's possible for this guy, well, then it's possible. And wouldn't that be cool if the chance of immortality was real?
That's a huge thing.
That's a thing that...
That's a huge thing. Maybe we shouldn't go that dark with it. Actually, you know what?
I'm just saying.
You know what? Let's go as dark as we can with that, because the big thing I was getting from this research is that the 1700s were weird.
Yeah,
they were super weird. So let's get into the fucking historical facts about this dude's life.
I want to
before we take a hard left down Bullshit Avenue.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna play some of the music that was actually composed by this dude.
Finally.
Yeah.
Can I twerk to it? Is it twerkable?
Anything's twerkable if you try hard enough.
Okay. I'm just creating a music video in my head.
All right, so yeah. Think of the chandeliers and the powdery fucking wigs.
I was thinking about a wicker basket full of snakes that are like slithering all around. That's what I like imagine when I hear this.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah. But yeah, think of the chandeliers, the candles.
So what do they do when they listen to this? Do they like what's a 1700s drink? I want to know, like,
fucking wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's boring.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they're wearing these stupid coats.
They're drinking wine and they're all.
So this is the.
Are they dancing at all? Like slow dancing?
So fucking think of it this way. They're slow dancing at this point. Yeah. This is for an opera, I believe.
Okay.
That this dude wrote. Yeah, it's a ballroom. There's like all these. Europe was just kind of fucking killing itself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at this point, and like you got all these powdery wig fucks. Just like there's fucking cannons. I'll get into that later.
There's people covered in ash, like clawing at the windows. Please let me in. Like, please, yeah. I want food.
Well, yeah, kind of. And there's just like fucking people killing each other just right over there. Like this whole time period, and we'll get into some of that like politicking and shit, but all the European countries were just fucking at war with each other all the goddamn time. Killing each other all the fucking time. All the fucking time. And like they had guns now and shit. It was like, Middle Ages, but with guns now and shit. And like, this is right before the French Revolution. So this is the height of like, they're like, listen to this bullshit. They're fucking drinking wine, going, ho, 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 ho. While like people are starving in the streets right next door. And then right next door, like, dudes are just getting their fucking legs blown off by cannonballs. And they're like still going, ho, 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 and like fucking each other in the head maze and shit. Yeah. It's that Alice in Wonderland, like, well, I mean, 1800s too. Well, Europe's always been like, fuck the Europeans. But this is the type of Europe that America said, fuck you to, right? In 1776. But like, this is the thing that, this is that whole fucking, yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting that like the first imagery that my mind clings to is like snakes in a basket.
Yeah.
Because it is almost like, nobility is almost like snakes like hidden in the basket. Like this concealed threat.
Are you talking about the reptilians again?
No, like not even, but it's a good metaphor. It's a great metaphor. It's a good metaphor.
So, the Count of Saint Germain first shows up in writings about him.
Are we going to let the music play in the back?
Nah, we can turn it off. Yeah. He first shows up in primary sources by writing the music you just heard.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty good.
It's whatever.
Like, it's
not my jam.
No, it's nothing that I would like ever put on to listen to ever.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
Yeah. So yeah, he first shows up in 1740. And according to music historian David Hunter, the Count composed a considerable amount of music for a London opera called L'Inconstanza delusa. I'm sorry for that pronunciation. The Incontinent
is that the
delusion?
Is that really the name of it?
L'Inconstanza delusa. Yes.
It means the incontinent delusion?
No, I don't think so. But that's what it sounds like to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say that's uncanny to my life.
I mean, that would just be beautiful, but I don't think it is.
Inconstanza delusa. I'm looking it up. Oh, it just comes up with stuff about like Saint Germain.
Yeah.
What was the opera about?
I don't know.
Like, yeah.
It would just like, it ran.
It's too old and foreign.
So it ran weekly for 3 months in early 1745.
Okay.
It said on most Saturdays between like early February and early April in 1745 in Haymarket. It wasn't like a phenomenon or anything. It wasn't like, you know what I mean?
It wasn't like the Beatles.
He was just a professional musician or a professional composer doing his shit, right?
Yep. Good steady work.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And like he never gave any public performances of his shit.
Oh, so he just let other people do it? He just wrote the stuff. Okay, yeah.
Hunter says there's evidence that he gave a handful of private performances to high society. And like in his article in this like journal, it's like a journal on like music history.
Yeah.
He's like looking for the truth of Saint Germain and shit. And I can tell that he's
just a music
the
guy.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And he just can't comprehend it.
Right.
Like it's like he completely compartmentalized it and ignored it. But I can like tell there's some fucking singe marks on its cerebellum.
Right. That's like how I feel about any journalist that's reporting on Chris Chan right now. Like just a normal person.
Not talking about it. Not doing it.
That's probably how David Hunter like felt like looking into the Count of Saint Germain. He's like, oh, there's a lot here, but I'm just going to stick to the facts of the music stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. What I need to write my thing.
That's all dumb.
Yeah.
People are fucking stupid, as I think the emotion that he was feeling. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he found evidence that he did give private performances and shit. Right. So he was there, a musician. In December of 1745, so like after the opera had already run its course. So 1745, December, during the Jacobite Rebellion.
What is that?
So I'm glad you asked. Because I specifically looked this up.
Oh, okay, good.
So this was also known as the Year of Charles.
Oh,
It was an attempt by Charles Stuart to retake the British throne for his father, King James. So this was when, like I said, everyone was killing each other.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this is when,
I want to be the king.
right? This is after the the Protestant split and shit,
Yeah.
and
Bunch of
well after, and
bunch
so
of babies.
now the Catholicism and Protestantism had time to mature and get dynasties in the thrones and shit. And I believe it was 1690s, the Protestants basically, with the help of the Dutch, and it was also known as the Dutch Crossing, there was the Glorious Revolution where the Dutch invaded England, it was under the guise of the Protestants, fighting a war of succession to put a Protestant heir to the throne and depose King James.
So it's all religion bullshit?
Yeah, it's the Protestant Catholic wars in England.
It's just my religion should have the throne. No, my religion should have the throne.
Basically, this is the last time that England was ever invaded by land or by troops.
Okay.
Because the Dutch invade and you got two guys, one guy's the actual king, he's King James or whatever, and then if you ever seen Game of Thrones, it'd be Stannis Baratheon coming. I mean, this is exactly what that Stannis Baratheon is based on. It is, shit like this. It's this dude with this new religion saying, I'm the rightful king. And then he has the army to back it up because the Dutch paid for it, because the Dutch were fucking just rolling in gold at the time.
Yeah.
So then in 1745, King James's son, Charles, he hosts what's called the Jacobite Rebellion. And he's saying I'm the son of the true king. So fuck you guys. I'm taking my throne back from my dad.
Uh-huh.
Right? And so he just starts killing his countrymen. It only lasted for a year. The year of Charles.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So during the year of Charles, Horatio Walpole, whom we can trust because he's described as a writer, a politician, an art historian, a man of letters.
His name's Horatio.
An antiquarian.
Okay.
An antiquarian named Horatio.
What the fuck does antiquarian even mean?
He likes old shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So he mentions in a letter that a strange fellow with a strange name had just been arrested under suspicion of espionage, but was released without charge. He wrote this. This is a real document by Horatio Walpole. See if you can hear the antiquarian and how he writes.
Yes.
The other day they seized an odd man who goes by the name of Count Saint Germain. He has been here these 2 years and will not tell who he is or whence, but professes two wonderful things. First, that he does not go by his right name, and the second, that he never had any dealings with any woman, nay, nor with any Sacadnum.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Because I want to know if it's something that he needs to reassure people if he's had sex with them or not.
A substitute, a replacement for something else, particularly of a medicine used in place of another.
Okay.
Is that
so he's never had sex with or he's never had relations with a woman or
a replace
or anything
he's not gay.
Woman or
that's probably
else.
A euphemism. Yeah.
He's never had relations.
Yeah.
He's asexual, basically.
Yeah, he don't fuck.
Yeah.
He sings, plays on the violin wonderfully. He sings, plays on the violin wonderfully, composes, is mad, and not very sensible. He is called an Italian, a Spaniard, a Pole, somebody that married a great fortune in Mexico and ran away with her jewels to Constantinople, a priest, a fiddler, a vast nobleman. The Prince of Wales has had unsatiated curiosity about him, but in vain. However, nothing has been made out against him. He is released, and what convinces me that he is not a gentleman stays here, and talks of his being taken up for a spy.
So why was he seized? What did he do to make them bring him in? Were they just hey, you, who the fuck are you?
Are you,
You've been here for 2 years. We don't know who you are. You use all these names.
You with Charles.
Who are you?
No, they don't care about that. That's a weird thing. And in my research, I found it's kind of an accepted thing for people to just not use their real name.
Yeah, I mean, it's how the fuck are you going to prove who you are anyway?
Exactly. So it's just
you got a license? I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not really that weird because how the fuck are you going to prove who you are?
I wish I lived back then.
They didn't have cameras.
Not really, but
no, if
I would die.
If you were just
yeah,
it might be. If you were this guy, it might be fun.
True.
If
I didn't have asthma,
that kind of sounds like John McAfee, honestly. He just ends up in prison who the fuck are you? And he just hey, talks his way out of it. Let's swap some stories. So the count, he gave 2 private musical performances in London in April and May of 1749, so 4 years after he was released under suspicion of being a Jacobite spy or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So Lady Jemima York described how she was very much entertained
she was canceled.
by him. She was canceled?
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Holy shit. Wow.
Okay.
That was fucking brutal. Damn.
People will get it or they won't.
Yeah. Okay. So I was very much entertained by him or at him the whole time. I mean, the oddness of his manner, which it is impossible not to laugh at. Otherwise, he is very sensible and well-bred in conversation. Weird, right?
Like, I get it. He's an eccentric.
So right at this point, I'm starting to think like, okay, this is a dude. This is actually a story. And I'm like, this is going to be a great story for the podcast. Like, okay, this is perfect. Like, who the fuck was it? All right. Just, give my own narrative as we go along, Is
Lady Jemima still speaking?
Yes.
Okay.
So she says, he is an odd creature, and the more I see him, the more curious I am to know something about him. He is everything with everybody. He talks ingeniously with Mr. Ray, philosophy with Lord Willoughby, and is gallant with Miss York, Miss Carpenter, and all the young ladies. But the character and philosopher is what he seems to pretend to, and to be a good deal conceited of. The others are put on to comply with le manières du monde, but that you are to suppose his real characteristic, and I can't but fancy he is a great pretender in all kinds of science, as well as that he really has acquired an uncommon share in some. So basically, like, he's talking like he's
an expert
in everything, but he's probably an expert in some things.
Yeah, he probably just knows a little bit about everything.
Yeah, and he's a great conversationalist. He's a writer. He's a fucking...
Right. So I see that people liken him sort of to Jesus, and all the ascended master type people do anyway, but I could more easily see him being almost like a devil character, like with this sort of transformative quality that he has to be anybody. Because that's not very that's not akin to sort of like these spiritual masters to be these shapeshifters that are so many different people and take on so many different identities. That to me more aligns with like, I don't know, the devil or Lucifer.
Hold that thought till the end, because I do think there's something very fucking weird about this story, but I want to save that till we go through everything. Mm-hmm. All right. She continues on. She says, he's a man of quality who had been in or designed for the church. He was too great a musician not to have been famous if he had not been a gentleman. Right. So if he wasn't like, royalty, he would have been a famous musician if he could have just done that, because he's fucking real good at it. So Horatio Walpole describes the Count as pale, with extremely black hair and a beard. He dressed magnificently and had several jewels, and was clearly receiving large remittances, but made no other figure. So he didn't have a job, but he kept getting.
But he had money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's all in England, and he gave like those private performances in like 1749, but in 1748 he showed up in France for the first time.
Okay.
To the court of King Louis XV.
So he hopped over from England over to France.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was all over the place. And he became friends with not Marie Antoinette yet, Madame Pompadour. I don't know what the fuck she's famous for, but that's another powdery wig fucking name I know.
But she has awesome hair.
Yeah. Johnny Rocket hair.
Yes, exactly. She's a greaser.
She's a fucking greaser. Yeah. Of course she's hanging out with fucking Saint Germain, the con man. In their leather jackets, smoking cigarettes.
Hanging out at the diner.
Madame de Pompadour, yeah.
Riding their motorcycles.
Yeah.
They're part of the same gang. The Serpents.
Yeah. King Louis, he wishes he was as cool as him. Mm-hmm. But he's like, so Saint Germain really, if like he was arrested in England and shit, he was a musician, he got right into the French court.
Yeah.
He got buddy with these fucking guys, like with King Louis and shit. Because that's who he did the diamond trick to.
Yeah.
With the say like, I can give you, like, I'll make those 5.
Did he ever become a spy after being accused of being one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if I was accused of being one, I'd be like, well,
no, he was a spy.
Fuck it.
He was definitely, No, King Louis employed him as like a diplomat.
If you already got accused of being a spy, they were like, okay, we guess you're not. You can go free. I'd be like, all right, well, now's the perfect time to become a spy. Like,
and maybe he was then, too.
Who knows?
Right? Ooh. Like, he reminds me of, like a CIA legend in some ways, too.
Yeah.
They fucking
Oh my God, he's a time traveling CIA agent. He's John Titor.
oh my God, who's the actor? He's Philip Seymour Hoffman's character in fucking that movie with Tom Hanks. He's Philip Seymour Hoffman in his CIA character role. Charlie Wilson's War.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that one.
Oh, it's great. It's like it's great just for Philip Seymour Hoffman as fucking
Philip Seymour
mustache.
Hoffman's awesome.
CIA agent with that 70s fucking half long haircut, yellow aviators.
Oh yeah,
Fuck yeah,
a
smoking
legend.
cigarettes So King Louis employed Saint Germain as a diplomat,
Yes.
which, go over there and talk to some people for me, make some things happen. Like
Right.
like it's
Go
not
be
it's not the
diplomatic.
UN. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a diplomat is not the UN. Like you got to go over there. Like you might get killed. Go do that shit. He spent some time in France diplomating and hobnobbing with the fancy 18th century powdery wig fucks like you mentioned earlier, Giacomo Casanova, whose name literally became a synonym for womanizing. Right.
What were they doing hanging out?
They were just in the same circles in fucking Paris or Versailles in fucking
just chilling.
1748. Well, from 1748 to said they met in 1757.
Okay.
So like 10 years later and shit.
Yeah,
So he's just there. He's
They're just hanging out. Any girls that like hit on Saint Germain, he's like, I'm sorry, I don't have any.
and then
relations."
Casanova's like, hey.
Yeah. I'll send you. Would you
He's
please?
got a sparkly shirt that's half
Yeah,
open.
talk to my friend Casanova instead.
Talk to my friend Giacomo.
Yeah.
Talk to my friend Jimmy. He'll help you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but Casanova's also like famous for like being a writer and wrote a lot of shit. And he met him when Madame de Robert Gergi brought the end quote famous adventurer
Is her
Saint
last
Germain.
name Gergi?
Gergi. Gerge. Gergi.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No way.
Yep.
Like Gergi in the Black Cauldron. That's awesome.
Fuck yeah. So Casanova wrote about meeting the Count of Saint Germain. What's it? It may be safely said that I don't have a good voice for him. It may be safely said that as a conversationalist, he was unequaled. Saint Germain gave himself out for a marvel and always aimed at exciting amazement, which he often succeeded in doing. He was a scholar, linguist, musician, and chemist, good-looking and a perfect ladies' man. For a while, he gave them paints and cosmetics. He flattered them, not that he would make them young again, which he modestly confessed was beyond him, but that their beauty would be preserved by a means of a wash, which he said cost him a lot of money, but which he gave away freely. He had contrived to gain the favor of Madame de Pompadour, who had spoken about him to the king, for whom he had made a laboratory, in which the monarch, a martyr to boredom, tried to find a little pleasure or distraction, at all events, by making dyes. The king had given him a suite of rooms at Chambord, and 100,000 francs for the construction of a laboratory, and according to Saint Germain, the dyes discovered by the king would have a materially beneficial influence on the quality of French fabrics.
So he was making like colors, right?
He got fucking King Louis XV to give him a bunch of money and set him up with a fucking lab to just like buy a lab.
Yeah, and
Fuck
then
yeah.
he was dyeing fabrics and making makeup.
Listen, these new dyes, these new colors, Louis, these new fucking colors,
I mean, imagine the fucking new colors. Shit.
they're gonna make France so much money.
Yeah.
You're gonna love these colors, Louis.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna knock your fucking tits off, Louis. Here, just wait, give me the money. I gotta buy a lab.
It's St. Louis with his hot dogs
Hey,
again.
Louis, with this fucking god damn it. So Casanova continues. This extraordinary man, intended by nature to be a king of impostors and quacks, would say in an easy, assured manner that he was 300 years old, that he knew the secrets of the universal medicine, and that he possessed a mastery over nature, that he could melt diamonds, professing himself capable of forming out of 10 or 12 small diamonds one large one of the finest water without any loss of weight. All this, he said, was a mere trifle to him. Notwithstanding his boastings, his barefaced lies, and his manifold eccentricities, I cannot say I thought him offensive. In spite of my knowledge of what he was, and in spite of my own feelings, I thought him an astonishing man, as he was always astonishing me.
Interesting. So he's like, yeah, I know he's full of shit, but like he's fun. And I can see why Helena Blavatsky also was because she was a bold-faced liar too.
Yeah.
I did this.
She's
and I did
the same.
That, and I
She's another one, dude.
and I can do that.
She's literally...
Yeah.
Dude, Blavatsky, Saint Germain.
Yeah, they're cut from the same cloth.
McAfee.
They're all cut from the same cloth.
It's all
Connor Murphy coming up.
He's coming up, yeah.
And he's the same.
He's got a few more rungs to climb, though.
Yeah.
But
He's getting there, though. He's cut from the same cloth, man. And what great.
We'll talk about him on a later date.
What great people.
Back to the den of snakes. But yeah, that's so clear to me, the way Casanova describes that. Like,
it's interesting.
He's saying the same thing. He's like, this dude is a bullshit artist, but I love him.
Right. Like, I know he's lying, but I don't care.
That's the master trick.
Yeah.
That's the philosopher's stone right there.
Right. Like, he may be full of shit, but I'm entertained.
That's the philosopher's turd.
The philosopher's turd. Yeah. As long as people are entertained, Yeah,
absolutely. Holy shit. I feel like I just got wiser.
Yes.
So there's a story about from a journal of one of Madame Pompadour's friends, who is an old lady who says that she met the Count and began talking to him only to realize that she had met him many, many years earlier when she was a little girl and he was the exact same age.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's primary sources.
Mm-hmm.
It's diary and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, what definitely doesn't help separate fact from fiction. This is the first of many confounding things, right? So not only were there a couple other guys who were the Count of Saint Germain, including a famous French general.
Yeah.
Other real dude, completely unrelated. And then there was another fucker too that I don't remember anything about.
Okay.
But just another dude.
So there was just people that were like, I'm the Count of Saint Germain.
They just had the title for some fucking reason. Maybe, their piece of land was called the same thing or something. I believe that.
It doesn't seem like a terrible.
It was a bullshit
title, yeah.
No. But also, during this period in France, word of the Count got out and spread among the, we'll just call them the poors.
Okay.
And this
the peasants.
Yeah. I don't know if it might be a little.
Burp.
Yeah, that's fucking.
I couldn't
hilarious.
be more obnoxious. The fucking peasants.
I call them the poors because I am one.
The poors with a capital P.
They're fucking white trash like us.
Yeah.
So, there was this street performer, the word of the Count got out among the poors, and there's this street performer who started playing the role of Count Saint Germain, mm-hmm. but going whole hog with the crazy bullshit stories.
Yeah.
But he was also a really talented actor and performer.
Okay.
And so he would dress up as this fucking guy. And he looked like him too. And he would do the whole bit and run into storefronts and shit and say ridiculous things and act as though he were the most absurd version of the Count of Saint Germain. There's this real dude in the court who's saying all this shit, this real con man, right? Then there's this fucking actor who's pretending to be the craziest version of this dude, and he also looks like him, and he's doing a great job.
At the same time that he's still alive?
Yeah. So he's telling all these ridiculous stories.
So then there's people all around that will have these stories about, oh yeah, I know the Count.
Yeah.
I remember, but they're all talking about a different guy. But how do they know they're talking about a different guy? They don't know. Mm-hmm. So there's just all these stories from different places. And it's well, how could he be in so many different places? Mm-hmm.
You're starting to get it.
Yeah.
You're starting to see the picture here.
I am, and it's really cool.
We're drawing another fucking piece of yarn just went up on the chalkboard, the corkboard.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But I also imagine there has to be one central dude too, a spy.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was a guy.
Yeah.
He was a diplomat. I don't know, but I don't know. We'll see. So. In 1760, at the height of the 7 Years' War, Saint Germain traveled to Amsterdam and he pretended to borrow money from this big bank in Amsterdam for King Louis with diamonds for collateral. He was I'll bring a bunch of diamonds to get some of that cash to or gold money to pay our fucking because we can't
diamonds.
But he that was just a story to get there.
Right.
He probably didn't actually have the diamonds. He tried to do two things. One was he started a porcelain and dye factory in Amsterdam.
Okay.
And then he also tried to broker peace negotiations between England and France, who were at war again, because this is right after England is at war with itself. Now they're at war with France. They're just
he tried to broker peace negotiations? How should he do that?
I don't know, but he tried. He like went to the Hague and fucking.
He was like, please just forgive each other already.
No, they knew. I mean, so this is the thing, man.
Come on, guys,
again, like
just
how
get
fucking.
along.
I want to like drive. Right, this is when we drive.
Think of the children.
Drive home this fucking point that like I'm going to bring up Saint Germain's music again because like we have England, France, and the Netherlands, right? So far, we've heard about the Dutch crossing and the Glorious Revolution, where the Protestants killed a bunch of Englishmen and put this
Charles.
And then later on, you have the Year of Charles, Englishmen killing Englishmen, not just Dutch people. And now they're at war with France, but the Dutch are still here, and Saint Germain's in the Netherlands, like trying to broker peace. And like, is just all these fucking young like poor men are just getting their fucking legs blown off by cannonballs, and these fucking idiots are just like, oh, there's. Oh, Saint Germain, you're here to tell us stories of England or some shit. Like, they don't care. They don't. It's just political games and shit. It's just like inbred
it's
fucking psychopathy. Like, I really feel like
you guys fight each other while we.
So like this post-Enlightenment period, like, seems like, I don't know, in a weird way to me, it seems like the most psychopathic version of all that. I don't know, but maybe I'm just. I've just been stoned and reading about this. And
I see it as directly mirroring a lot of what is happening in the world today.
Yeah.
But, same
Well, it wasn't
story.
that long ago at all.
No.
Like,
it's like yesterday, pretty much, in the grand scheme of things.
3 people ago.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's fun. Brother killing brother. Nation against nation.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it seems like they just, nowadays it's like, oh, you're here from the country we're fighting, where we're killing, like, oh, we're gonna lock you, like, you're not allowed to just like talk, but it's like, oh, you're the diplomat, yeah, come in, like, oh, you want to die? I don't know. It's So at the height of the 7 Years' War, he's brokering a peace negotiation, and this is when Saint Germain, he got entangled in wartime politics. Like, there was some forces in France that were operating, like political forces in France that were operating against like the king, and like in order for the king to like not acknowledge that happened, he had to like disavow Saint Germain, who he probably had sent to broker peace, like try and broker peace negotiations, right? Mm-hmm. And so France had King Louis had to be like, no, he's operating on his own. He doesn't have my blessing. So I, in fact, arrest him and shit. And
wow,
yeah,
that's rude.
Yeah, but like it'd be bad politics for the Dutch to give him over or let him stay in Amsterdam. So the Dutch gave Saint Germain a passport to England. And the passport was blank, so he could travel under whatever assumed name he chose.
Okay.
Literally, no one gives a shit that this dude doesn't have a name. They're all killing each other. That's like, you don't have a name, guy. Go hang out with the other guys now.
Let me tell you what this reminds me of. With like, oh, hey, Saint Germain, can you go and like try to broker like peace and stuff?
Yeah.
Can you go and like, it reminds me of when you tell your friend, like, they write the little note that says, will you go out with me? And then they have the little check box, yes or no. And they give it to their friend. And they're like, hey, can you go give this to Hannah?
Yeah.
And then they go give it to Hannah. And Hannah's like, no. Oh, and then your friend is like, I don't know why he did that. I had nothing to do with that. Like, that's really weird of you.
Yeah. That's wicked funny.
That's what Saint Germain, he's the friend that's like, well, fuck, you made me look really stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Saint Germain went back to England, and then from England, the Count traveled to St. Petersburg, Berlin, Vienna, Milan, Obergen,
all around.
Zutphen,
all around Europe.
Yeah, and this Livorno, Nuremberg, Mantua, The Hague, and Bad Schwalbach.
My favorite place to visit.
So in 1779, he ended up in Altona in Schleswig.
Okay.
Yeah, Schleswig. And he made friends with Prince Charles of Hesse-Kassel.
He's so good at making friends with nobility.
Yeah, that's his skill. He's maxed out in in diplomacy. But Charles of Hesse-Kassel, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but it's funnier that way. He was an occultist and a member of a few secret societies. The Count showed off all his crystals and said he had invented an entirely new method of making dyes. So again, Prince Charles just bought the dude a factory, and then the two just hung out and made dyes and jewelry together. And they were like buddies. Like that now he's like away from this. I kind of like that he's away from this bullshit. Now he's just like, he actually made a legitimate friend. They're like both actually together, just like talking about philosophy and just like making fucking jewelry together, just hanging out.
Yeah.
So this is where the Count reveals his real name, according to one side of history.
This is like him settling down. He has his platonic life partner now.
Yeah. So the Count told Prince Charles that he was the son of the Transylvanian prince, Francis II Rákóczi, and that he had been 88 when he arrived in Schleswig in 1779. He stayed there for 5 years, just hanging out making jewelry, and records indicate that he died in 1784. The official church documents list his burial and expenses, and Prince Charles then donated the factory to the crown, and it was turned into a hospital because everyone's just killing each other.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
No one claimed his effects. Yeah. But yeah, he said that he was the son of Prince Francis II Rákóczi, a Transylvanian prince, and that like he had been sent away in secret.
He said a lot of things though.
Right.
Okay, he had been sent away in secret. Oh my God. Do you know who Caspar Hauser is? This is so...
Heard that name.
He was another one of those figures that like was found as a quote unquote feral child.
Yeah.
And they kept their identity secret their whole life. And then when they were found, he was found murdered with a note that said, "I'm actually the son of so-and-so. And I was a secret kid that was sent away." Like, yeah.
The
Great
Disney
story.
movie like Anastasia.
Yeah. That was my favorite movie as a kid.
I never saw the whole thing, I don't think.
That was my favorite. I loved Bartok, the talking bat.
Fuck yeah.
Rasputin as a villain.
Rasputin stays great.
He's great. And Anastasia, I always loved her. I was like, she looks like me. She has red hair. I love her.
But yeah, so like, you know, he was like sent away as a boy to like protect him or something. And then he was like the last, one of the biographies about him is called like the Count Saint Germain, the last scion of the House of Rákóczi. Jean Overton Fuller, who wrote that book, during her research, she said that the Count's estate upon his death was a packet of paid and receipted bills and quittances, 82 Reichsdollars and 13 shillings. I believe Reichsdollars.
This is a currency.
Yeah, of Germany, yeah. 29 various groups of items of clothing, gloves, stockings, trousers, shirts, 14 linen shirts, 8 other groups of linen items, and various sundries. Razors, buckles, toothbrushes, sunglasses, combs.
Okay.
No diamonds, jewels, gold, or any other riches were listed. Nor were kept cultural items from travels, personal items like his violin, or any notes of correspondences. Yeah.
It's interesting because it seemed like he always had money and like never needed like money really. And yet you would think that he would have some sort of estate, but also he never had any strict identity or
a violin. That's the weird one to me.
Yeah.
You know, because he did write music. Like that's a real ass thing.
I mean, it makes me think that probably the majority of his stuff is actually like with someone else somewhere.
I feel like Prince Charles probably kept it all.
Yeah.
Because they were probably they were probably in love. I mean, honestly, like they were probably maybe I don't know but that could
honestly,
be.
it could be the case because like if you
or they're at least buddies.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. And for speculative purposes, like if you were
as long as we're making up fucking stories like everybody else is, we can make up our own, goddammit.
Right. Like if you were gay back then, you might want to keep that a fucking secret.
Well, that circadianum or whatever was probably a euphemism for that.
Right.
You know?
Like the fact that he even qualified like, oh, I don't have any relations with women or otherwise is like, okay, but probably for the time period standard, you could just say women and people would.
That was probably Giacomo.
Place a period there.
Or maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they'd start going.
I don't know.
Or maybe they didn't give a shit. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Or that might just be Giacomo Casanova being like, wink, wink.
I don't know.
Or how about this, though? What if that wasn't him that died? What if that was a fake body? The stories don't stop with the death of Monsieur Rákóczi.
Yeah.
No. For one, there's a legend which no one can find the original source for this story. No one knows where this came from. The vampire of New Orleans, Vampire Nolans, Jacques Saint Germain in the 1990s. And not 1990s, 1900s. In the early 1900s, supposedly, this dude Jacques showed up in Nolans, said he was I know I'm butchering that. I butcher all the accents. Shut up.
I'm not judging.
Someone is.
Yeah.
I am. But supposedly Jacques Saint-Germain said he was the son of the Count of Saint-Germain. Yet he displayed all the same mannerisms, same characteristics and shit, and even looked just like him. And there's like paintings of this dude too. That's the other thing. We'll put it on the Instagram. He was painted and he looked like this dude. And he was the toast of the town for a bit until one fateful night. He had an apartment. He had an apartment on Bourbon Street. Or like, no, not, he had he had an apartment in the French Quarter.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like, if you've been to New Orleans,
I haven't.
Word. I have. Every time I've been there, I fall within 5 minutes of being in that, being there, I fall deeply in love with that city. And then within an hour and a half of being there, I need to get the fuck out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
That's my, like, God bless the people for whom that place is their place, because that is a special fucking place.
I feel like
it's a lot.
There's probably a lot of pee and puke.
Oh yeah.
Like,
it smells terrible.
It feels like an especially puke-filled city. I've never been there. I don't know.
It absolutely
sorry
is.
to make that generalization, but
I mean, everyone knows. Like, you know,
it's a pukey place.
People they go there, they get drunk, and they puke in the fucking streets.
Yep.
You know, that's
magic.
Always people from other places, though.
It's a magical place.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes it rains so hard that the graveyards flood and the coffins come out of the ground and fucking float down the street. Fuck yeah.
It's always nice to be in a place where it feels accepted to start drinking at like 9 a.m. It's like, okay, I can be fucked up here.
God, I wish I could day drink so hard. Like, if the sun is up and I take a sip of alcohol, I fall. I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, if the sun's down, it energizes me.
Yeah.
But like, even a sip of beer just knocks me the fuck out. Mm-hmm. I cannot day drink, and it sucks. Maybe that's why I want to get out of New Orleans as fast as possible. But so anyway, like, so he's got this apartment. Jacques Saint-Germain has this apartment in the French Quarter, and one night, people hear a woman scream. And they run out to find that a woman jumps from the balcony of his apartment. If you've been to New Orleans and you look up a picture of, or you look up this story, you'll see a picture of a building that you have seen. Like, I guarantee it. You'll be like, oh, that one. The woman survived her jump from Saint Germain's apartment. Okay. But she said that he tried to bite her neck.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, you don't have to be a vampire to try to do that.
Jacques agreed to be questioned, but then he just straight up disappeared. And when they searched his house, the police found bottles of red wine mixed with blood. Oh. Dun, dun, dun. Whoa. But, I mean, the thing is, there's literally zero source for that story.
Right.
You just see, like, tourist, like, blogs for New Orleans, like, repeating it.
It's a fun story.
And, like, but, like one of the weird things is no one knows where it came from. I can't find the original person making it up.
Yeah.
It like organically grew or something. Like, I have no idea where this came from.
It's like the Procter and Gamble, like does. Satanism
right,
shit.
Exactly.
Like it's there, but
it's an emergent, like, it's emergent folklore.
It's almost just like it's a symptom of folklore, like you said, of American folklore. Vampires,
worldwide folklore with this motherfucker, you know.
Mm-hmm. I feel like East Coast. Well, New Orleans isn't really East Coast, but like coastal vampires seem to kind of be a thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
for some reason.
But they're always foreigners.
Yeah.
Now, actually, in Exeter, I don't think that in Rhode Island, which is like the Exeter vampires we should talk about one day, because that's like one of the main vampire legends.
Yeah, I know there's Rhode Island vampires.
Yeah, that's like the vampires.
The American vampires.
Yeah. But yeah, no source is completely emergent folklore. But yeah, so Jesus is a vampire. That's what we got from that.
Jesus is a psychic vampire.
He is.
He feasts off of your prayers. It keeps him alive throughout the ages.
However, there are some interesting stories of this dude being fucking weird years after he died that do have sources.
Okay, I'm listening.
All right. So as I mentioned earlier, there are two biographies of the Count of Saint-Germain. Isabel Cooper Oakley's The Count of Saint-Germain, written in 1912, and the book we mentioned earlier, Jean Overton Fuller's The Comte de Saint-Germain, Last Scion of the House of Rakoczy, from 1988. They disagree. Jean Overton Fuller's book, The Comte, I don't know if it's Comte or Comte.
Can I just say, based on her name, I'm suspicious
who do you trust
about
more?
Her. I'm suspicious about Jean Overton Fuller. She has too many names, and
Isabel Cooper Oakley doesn't? Same amount of names.
They have the same amount of names, but Isabel Cooper Oakley, like, those are cool names.
Okay.
Those are cooler.
They are. That's true. I agree. I agree with that.
Because it's like Isabel, like Cooper, I think of Bill Cooper, and then Oakley, I think of Annie Oakley. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your opinion might change at the end of this. So there's the last sign of the House of Rakosi, which is the book that says this dude was he's, at least as far as he said to a confidant, that he was the son of the Transylvanian Prince Francis II, and that he was the last of the House of Rakosi. And he said this to Prince Charles of Hesse-Kassel and in the factory where they made jewelry as old men before he died. And that he died in 1784. And here are the church records that prove this. Right? So that was written in 1988. 1912, the biography before that. This is a collection of primary sources. So this is the letters. This is the diaries. This is all the documents, right?
Yeah.
And it does not end in 1784. There are diary entries, primary sources from later, right?
Okay. That's cool that they're included.
Right. Well, check this out. Like one of the main ones, the bulk of these stories, the big one concerns the French Revolution, which was like a couple decades after 1784. And this is the guillotine one because there were a couple French revolutions. This is Marie Antoinette. This is the fucking blood in the streets. This is oh God.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That time.
Oh God. So these are taken from the diary of one Madame d'Adamar.
How many madames?
Yeah, tons of madames. So, and there's a big one coming up.
Oh.
There's a big madames coming. So the long and short of this story is that after the Count was thought dead, he showed up at Madame d'Adamar's house and wished to talk to her. They had met previously. They were friends. But this was a couple decades later. Yeah, she had heard that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So,
Look. Look at Coco. Look at Coco. She was standing up.
I see it. Yes.
She was standing up.
God damn it.
It was really cute. If she does it again, point it out to you.
Coco is a amputee, by the way. I don't know. That's
she's so cute.
So this is
Look, she's doing it. Okay. All right.
Stop pointing at your cat. So there's a snippet of conversation between Madame d'Adamar and the Count of Saint-Germain decades after his death. And this is after the death of the last king of France. And the Count it has heard of this, and he says, "I doubly regret this loss, both for myself and for France. This nation is not of your opinion. It looks to the new reign for its welfare. It is a mistake. This reign will be fatal to it." "What are you saying?" I replied, lowering my voice and looking around me. "The truth. A gigantic conspiracy is being formed, which as yet has no visible chief, but he will appear before long." So Saint-Germain's warning about the brewing revolution.
Oh.
Yeah. "The aim is nothing less than the overthrow of what exists, to reconstruct on a new plan. There is ill will towards the royal family, the clergy, the nobility, the magistracy. There is still time, however, to baffle the plot. Later, this would be impossible." This is from a diary in a book compiled in 1912.
Yeah.
Decades after the Count of Saint-Germain's death.
Yes.
Okay. "Where have you seen this? Is it in dreaming or awake?" "Partly with the help of my 2 ears and partly through revelations."
Okay.
The King of
Who's
France.
asking the question?
Madame d'Adamar.
Okay.
"Partly with the help of my 2 ears and partly through revelations. The King of France, I repeat, has no time to lose." So the Count convinces Madame d'Adamar to take him to Marie Antoinette, the soon-to-be headless sort of Queen of France at the time, to warn her of the coming attack by the Poors.
Okay.
Marie...
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just like asking him, how do you know this? Like, I'm a fucking ghost, bitch. Like,
He's not a ghost. He's solid.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, other people can see him.
The afterlife.
Other people can see him. He's a person. She doesn't know this. He just said,
but
she didn't
knows
say
that he passed away.
She heard that he did, and he says, "Nah."
Oh.
He's like, nah, that was some bullshit. They got another guy.
That's true because he had lied a whole lot throughout his entire life.
Right. He was.
So then it's possible
and they
for him
knew
to
about
say,
and they knew about the fucking
like, oh yeah, that was just a story.
they knew about the street performer.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like he
makes
was
more
known
sense
as like
then.
the story. You know what I mean?
Okay. So
Yeah.
she had heard that he died, and someone
And he's like, nah.
convinced her. Yeah.
Well, she just heard the news, but then he shows up on her fucking doorstep.
Okay.
And she's like, holy shit, you're alive. And he's like, yeah, you heard I died, huh?
Okay. So
You know what I mean?
So he's not.
But just wait a minute.
Okay.
Just wait a bit. There's a rug that is yet to be pulled.
Okay.
There's a rug I'm pulling. Yeah. And she says, he looks even younger. He even looks like he doesn't look like an old man. He looks to be about 40, 45, but perhaps even younger. Amazing. So she takes him. He wants to see Marie Antoinette. And so she takes him to Marie Antoinette, right? And this is from a conversation between Marie Antoinette and the Count of Saint Germain. So Marie says, "You've wished Madame Adhémar to bring you to me. I have great affection for her, and I do not doubt that what you have to tell me deserves listening to." And he says, "The Queen," answered the Count in a solemn voice, "will in her wisdom weigh what I am about to confide to her. The encyclopedist party desire power. They will only obtain it by the absolute downfall of the clergy, and to ensure this result, they will overthrow the monarchy. This party, who seek a chief among the members of the royal family, have turned their eyes on the Duc de Chartres. This prince will become the tool of men who will sacrifice him when he has ceased to be useful to them. The crown of France will be offered him, and he will find the scaffold instead of the throne."
Okay. Translate that into like simplified terms.
So
please.
there's a group of people who, they know the truth, which is that the clergy actually controls the country, not the monarchy. And so they're going to overthrow the clergy, but to do that, they're going to overthrow the monarchy. And this is the brewing French Revolution, right?
Okay.
And the Duc de Chartres, he's allied with them, but like he's going to find out they're going to betray him.
Okay.
So, and he's going to be offered the scaffold instead of the throne. So he's going to be hung up, but instead of he's going to be hung up instead of becoming king.
Okay.
Right. "But before this day of retribution, what cruelties, what crimes, laws will no longer be the protection of the good and the terror of the wicked. It is these last who will seize power with their blood-stained hands. They will abolish the Catholic reign, the nobility, the magistracy, so that nothing but the royalty will be left," interrupted the Queen impatiently. "Not even royalty, but a greedy republic whose scepter will be the axe of the executioner." Right?
Okay.
So he's warning about this, the blood storm that's about to hit France. And it does, right?
Yeah.
It does. The streets will run with fucking blood. It is a blood storm is the exact right word to use. So throughout this ordeal, though, the Count displays strange powers, seemingly appearing and disappearing at will, almost as if he's incorporeal, but he's still there. Everyone can see him.
He's also younger than when he died.
He looks a bit, yeah. Now, okay, so obviously the Count's warning falls on deaf ears. Marie Antoinette loses her head, but the Count manages to save Madame d'Adhémar's life. Like, that's how that story ends. We're done with that now. So the powers that he displays, they have a particular aesthetic to them. The way he appears and disappears at will, the kind of shit that he says, the way he says it, the tricks he pulls and stuff. They're very similar aesthetically to another famous con lady, Madame Helena Petrovna Blavatsky.
Yes.
Helena Blavatsky was the founder of...
Some people are thinking, who the fuck is that?
Madame Helena Blavatsky was she was the founder of theosophy, which was one of the sort of root spiritualist and like esoteric movements in the late 1800s that started what we see as the modern New Age and shit today, and a lot of like the modern woo-woo spooky fucking culture, right? Is that a solid way of condensing it?
Yep.
Theosophy is one of the roots of that.
Yeah, she's like the
Crowley was doing
like the
her
weird
bit.
Aunt of New Ageism, kind of.
I think Crowley was doing her bit.
Yeah.
It's the same bit. She did it first. Mm-hmm. It's a good bit.
It's a good bit.
That's what the Count of Saint Germain was doing.
I don't think she ate any poopy though.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So Blavatsky had said that he was one of her masters of wisdom and hinted that he had given her secret documents.
He gave her some knowledge.
Yeah, so she said that like she had this whole thing about these like ascended masters who were these like super special magical teachers that like transcended the normal 3D fucking reality, right? And he was one of these guys, along with the unfortunately named Kut Humi.
Yeah.
And like,
And,
okay, so
Maitreyu and Maitreya.
that was, she didn't really talk about Maitreya. That was,
Was he added on as an ascended master later?
yeah, by someone else. Yeah.
Okay, because there's like a whole bunch of ascended masters.
Yes.
There's like Kuan Yin and like Krishna and Jesus.
Yeah, it's ascended masters are the thing that those fucking assholes on YouTube say they're talking to when they're channeling beings.
Precisely.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Count of Saint Germain, the dude we were just talking about, the real guy who died in 1784.
Yeah.
Said, I don't want to put him in 1984 with the leather jackets and the pompadours.
Oh my
and
God.
shit. Fuck yeah. So she said, like, it's easy to think that, like, oh, she just heard these stories about this fucking con man just like her, and she took these stories and shit. And you might have been thinking through that story about the French Revolution, well, like, how the fuck can these primary sources, diary entries, be telling this batshit insane story of this guy, like, warning of, telling you know what I mean?
Because they're forged, or
Well, right you are.
oh, nice. Okay.
Here's the fucking thing.
Okay.
These were in the book The Count of Saint Germain by Isabel Cooper Oakley in 1912. Isabel Cooper Oakley was a prominent theosophist.
Okay.
And I'm going to read you this from the start.
Okay,
Here we
so
fucking go.
You thought I would change my mind, but this makes me like her even more because I'm like,
Okay.
I'm like, all right, spin your little bullshit
Okay,
stories.
okay.
Like it makes things more fun for us over here in the future. Trying
Wouldn't
to
be here without you, Izzy.
yeah, trying to unravel the puzzle.
Yeah.
You know, like what is the truth?
Yeah. All right, so the other thing about all this is, like, theosophists they're good at the game. They're
Yes.
good. They're real good. They're sly.
They're good weavers of the web
Because there was a Madame de Adamar.
they
right?
take real stuff. They
Yeah.
take real stuff that really happened.
Yeah.
And then sort of mythologize it.
So there was a real Madame de Adamar who was friends with Marie Antoinette. She was also a writer. She wrote, like, a book based on her diaries about the court of Marie Antoinette because she did survive
The French,
the French Revolution. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is from the introduction to that chapter of Isabel Cooper Oakley's book, The Count of Saint Germain. And this is her writing. The following extracts are translated from the very rare and very valuable Souvenir de Marie Antoinette by the Countess de Adamar, who had been an intimate friend of the Queen and who died in 1822. I have not been able to find a single copy of this rare work in any library in England, or on the continent, to which I have so far had access. But fortunately, a copy exists at Odessa, in the library of Madame Fadif, the aunt and friend of Madame H.P. Blavatsky. And this may lend it an additional interest in the opinion of some of our readers. It certainly does, Isabel. It certainly does.
Okay. Can we just pause for a second? This place don't exist.
Hold on. Let me continue.
Okay. Just
One of our members has been kindly permitted to make some extracts from the 4 volumes, and thanks are due to Madame Fadif for so graciously lending the work for this purpose. Madame de Adamar appears to have kept a daily diary after the fashion of the period and to have later written her souvenirs from this diary, occasionally interjecting explanatory remark. They cover a long period of time ranging from 1760 to 1821. So yeah, no copies of this diary exist outside the private library of Blavatsky's aunt, and luckily, some members of the Theosophical Society were permitted to make copies that just so happened to back up the claims made by Helena Blavatsky herself.
good Lord.
Yup. So,
It's like when a catfish makes multiple profiles to interact with themselves.
yeah.
Like,
So are you ready for that hard left down bullshit Ave yet?
I'm so ready.
Because that wasn't it. The fact that, like, Blavatsky made, like, and well, the fact that the Theosophists, like, made this dude up, or, like, made up this legend, like, forged document, or, like, just made shit up about Blavatsky's fucking aunt and shit. Because, like, fuck you. You can't, like, use a
So,
diary that, like, only you have access to as a primary source.
This both makes me angry and like annoyed because I'm like, why are you messing with reality like this? Why are you messing with history like this? But that's all any like book written by a human about history ever is.
I mean, but they also said, like, this is for a purpose. You know what I mean? Like, this is, they have a goal.
So it angers me, but it also delights me.
So another thing that's going on with the Count of Saint Germain. In my research, I found that there's this other version of this character who's just Saint Germain. And
Yeah, he's not the Count anymore.
I want you to open up that website I sent you.
All right. Opening up this baby.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yes. This is the music that plays
Oh, it's beautiful.
when you reach this website. The website,
When I opened it up on my phone the other night, it did not play this music, so this is my first time. Wow.
You haven't heard this yet?
I feel like I'm being hugged by an angel.
And this is the website for the Saint Germain Foundation, the true source on the mighty I Am presence, the violet flame, and the law of life. It's this like MS Paint, pink and white gradient background, this fucking terrible children's drawing of like two dudes in robes.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's god awful. It's gaudy. It's like, you know when that it's old aunt gone crazy. It is that aesthetic.
Very.
This is the whole thing. This is where that aesthetic comes from.
This is like someone that went to Catholic school as a kid and was very into religion, but then went crazy.
So I'm going to tell you exactly what this is. And I'll post some screenshots or something on Instagram because y'all have to fucking see this. This is that. So again, I thought this was just going to be some filler story. And then I was like, oh wow, this story is really interesting. And then I got to this shit. And getting to this shit, I realized that I had found the heart of something. I found the heart of old aunt gone crazy. The whole aesthetic, the
Amy
music.
Carlson.
Yes. The whole this is the dark heart of American New Age stuff. The
Especially
Saint Germain
with the Mount
Foundation.
Shasta stuff.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Okay. Yes. So this is from a theosophy offshoot in the early 1900s called the I Am activity. Okay?
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it too. I didn't really know anything about it.
I didn't either. I just know that people that take psychedelics a few times sometimes tend towards I Am.
I don't know if that's the same thing. I hope it's not, because this shit is weird. Okay. But then there's also
different I Am.
Then there's also because that's the one of the names of God. I mean, Neville Goddard was all about I Am and shit. He had nothing to do with this shit.
All right,
you know?
different I Am.
But
there's many I Ams.
The I Am activity, again, the creepiest fucking name in the world. Part of the activity. This is the music of the fucking activity.
The activity. I'm so prone to being brainwashed because I'm like, oh, I love this. I'd try this out for a month.
Fuck that, dude. This shit is awful.
Oh, no, come on. That would be fun, though. Just do it for a month. Just see what happens. Just see how it is. I'll do it.
Oof.
I'll do it. I'm searching for a religion.
I will arm myself to the teeth if I have to get you out of there.
I'll leave by my own accord.
I'll put on a leather jacket, get a pompadour, and get a fucking AK-47.
Feel the light of the violet flame surround me.
Oh, God.
I'm going down the rabbit hole right now.
I'm turning off the music.
I'm falling down. I'm floating down. Oh, come on. I was enjoying that.
No, that's the end. That's enough.
That was really doing it for me.
I know. It was starting to brainwash you. Just fucking off the way. I wonder how many people we just accidentally brainwashed. So, but what this shit is, okay. Take a look at this website.
I don't even know what it is.
Well, here's the thing. So I'm going to do an episode on these fucks now that I found them, because I think this is a thing. Okay, this is a real fucking thing. But so the AM in I Am activity is capitalized. It stands for Ascended Master. It's this offshoot theosophy cult that sort of did the Scientology thing before Scientology. It had field offices and the founders were speaking in front of thousands of fucking people in the 30s and shit. So it was founded by Guy and Edna Ballard, a married couple. And Guy Ballard, if you look them up on Wikipedia or something, see a picture of these fuckers. Oh boy, you'll know why I'm so creeped out about this. They got that creepy look. So
I bet they look totally normal.
No, nope. You'll know.
All right. Well, let's see.
Check it out. They look like vampires.
That is not the picture that she's pretty. She's gorgeous. She lived to be 135?
She sure did.
What the fuck?
Maybe not. Maybe that's some bullshit because I don't think anyone's lived that old.
What?
No one's lived that old and recorded.
What the fuck?
That would make her the oldest woman who's ever lived, and that's not true.
It's probably not true, but it's crazy that it says that when you look her up.
Sure does.
Holy shit. Oh. These pictures are creepy too.
Yeah.
He looks like He looks like the Temple of Set guy. Oh my God, he looks like Michael Aquino.
Oh, fuck.
He looks just like him.
Oh, Jesus. This is another layer.
Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna imagine that he's Michael Aquino.
So let me tell you that. Let me tell you about these guys. So Guy Ballard.
He has the widow's peak too. He's a vampire.
Yeah. So Guy Ballard, writing under the name Godfrey Ray King, was his pen name. And there's like a bunch of books on on Saint Germain that are written by Godfrey Ray King that like are talked about on the internet as if they're not written by these fuckers.
Written by a crazy person.
Yeah. So he says that one day he was hiking on Mount Shasta looking for the Great White Brotherhood, the White Lodge, right? He met a being who called himself Saint Germain and said is one of the ascended masters, just like Jesus. And the thing about these ascended masters is that they talk to humanity through special individuals like HPB and Guy and Edna Ballard. Mm-hmm. Right. And like these are the broadest of broad strokes because I'm going to do an episode on these guys in the very near future.
So I'm wondering, was there a person that came up to them and said, I'm Saint Germain High?
No,
or was
definitely
it
not.
Just a normal person that was talking and they interpreted that this was Saint Germain talking
No,
to
this
them
is
through
a
this
complete
person?
lies because this is the it's a combination of the Hermes Trismegistus story, which is Hermes goes up on a mountain to meditate and he meets Pymander, the fucking psychedelic serpent being that tells him he's the logos of God and gives him the
So they're just straight up lying then?
It's a combination of that and the Muhammad story of Muhammad talking to the Archangel Gabriel on the
Okay.
like Saint Germain is a musician / spy from the fucking 1750s. That's
right.
who
And these people are in
Saint
the, like
Germain
the
is.
1930s.
Yeah.
Right.
And he says that he's like a being next to Jesus.
So, but if they are in sort of this mindset.
This is not real. These people are con men.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
these are fucking liars and cult leaders.
I've absolutely had sort of like experiences in like psychotic mania where I have thought that like certain beings were talking to me through other people, but this is not that.
You heard that fucking music.
Yeah.
That shit is predatory. That is crazy aunt shit. That is the root of the fucking madness, dude.
Right.
These people are fucking predators.
So
and they had a ton of legal troubles and shit. Like that, and that's what I'll get into.
Well, their game is to like sell you stuff, right? And to get you into.
I mean,
the
I'm
groups,
gonna get into it on a later episode. So stay tuned. I don't want to get too much into it on this because I haven't done enough research yet, and I want to give it the time it deserves.
Okay.
So this is tune in again. We'll be talking about this because this shit's fucking wild. So but the broad strokes are like they started this religion, the I am activity. Mm-hmm. It grew and they put up field offices and shit. And there's vague hints of white supremacy and shit. There's a lot of like patriotism, a lot of American flags, and there's some shit like that. Like
how does that tie in?
They don't really. It's the root races. It's like they can do it. Like they're just cult leaders. They're just cult leaders after people's fucking money and attention and shit, right?
I guess what's the heart of it though? Like what is the message that they're teaching or like the thing that they're trying to worldview they're trying to sell?
Let's fucking click around the website a bit.
All right.
Shall we? Let's see.
Yeah, no, really.
The violet flame decrees everyone who has accomplished the ascension had to use the violet consuming flame to dissolve and consume his own human creation before the substance of his flesh body could vibrate at a rate that would enable it to ascend. What the fuck is that? That is madness. Boil the violet flame through us.
I'm getting the sense that there is this other self, this other body that you have that is not your physical body, but that surrounds your physical body, right?
Which is theosophy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things.
So, I mean, they're a theosophy offshoot, so they're taking that right from theosophy.
Right. But I get the sense that they're also sort of trying to tell you, because I saw some books recommended when I looked up this stuff about like healing oneself, about how like you can use this to sort of like, I don't know, do healing of your body, I guess.
It's meaningless horse shit.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, it's mumbo.
Clicking around special activities. This is a good stuff.
Dangerous horse shit. I don't think theosophy is dangerous horse shit. I think
they're dressing up like angels, huh?
Yeah. No, these fuckers are weird, man. Right?
Oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
The pageant of the angels. Ooh. All right. Are they doing? Is he Jesus? He has a golden bread in his hands. Okay. Okay. This is very weird.
Yes.
I'm not really certain what's going on here. Is this supposed to be Jesus?
No, that's Saint Germain.
But okay.
Yeah, it's a different character. Also, in
there's like warriors like running too.
In the I Am activity, Count Rakosi is a different character entirely. He's Master M. And also, the Count of Saint Germain is a third different character. So this shit has nothing to do with the Count of Saint Germain. The shit I was initially talking about. This is a teaser to a later episode. This is some fucking crazy shit.
I don't know if this is... Are the people really this crazy to make this up? They have to believe some of this.
No, they're just psychopaths.
They thought they had to think of this, though. This came from their imagination.
I can imagine some bullshit.
Yeah.
You know? Like...
I don't know.
Give me an afternoon. Give me a rainy Sunday afternoon. I'll fucking spin you a yarn.
That's certainly very, very interesting.
I mean, but they're not really that creative, though, because they did just, like, steal a bunch of elements of other shit and just, like, they kind of threw it together in a...
Like, they didn't come up with Saint Germain. They didn't come with, like...
And, like, the shit that
Violet
the shit that they're giving you is nonsense.
Yeah.
It's entirely devoid of meaning. It's just images from other creative people. This is psychopathy. Right. This is cult leader, like, distilled. And this is, like... So they were, like, speaking to crowds of thousands. Guy Ballard actually died at, like, the height of I Am activity popularity in 39. Yeah, in the 30s. He died at, like, the height of popularity, and then there's a bunch of legal battles and shit. Like, they were gross people. Like, historical records show that they were kind of fucked people.
So they were basically trying to be like Tony Robbins or something.
Yeah,
like
or like L. Ron Hubbard. I think L. Ron Hubbard might have been inspired by them.
Okay.
I think that is probably like an uncredited inspiration is kind of the vibe I'm getting. Because they did the same thing. They set up like offices and shit, and it was like a nationwide phenomenon to a point, you know.
Did they have courses and stuff that you had? Like...
I'm sure they had some shit. Like I said, I haven't looked enough into it yet.
Okay.
I really like found this a couple days ago.
Yeah, I'm just so fascinated.
Me too, and that's why I'm like bringing it up incomplete because like this is
I'm
some
curious
shit.
to see the places that Saint Germain's name is tied to.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, the website that's like the main like searching for Saint Germain website, like that, like someone that's really into this, the actual legend, not this shit. Mm-hmm. She has on her website like, please don't contact me with any I Am activity, Saint Germain Ascended Masters. Like, but she's also has the
she's
timeline
heard enough about
like,
it
of like it starts with the dinosaurs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she doesn't want this shit because it's fucked up. But like these fucking guys, they you know, they started the whole Mount Shasta thing. Like this comes from the whole Mount Shasta being spooky, of which that's where Saint Germain lives, right? Like that's where he lives.
Of course.
Yeah. But like this comes from Guy and Edna Ballard with the I Am activity, like all that fucking, you know, the flavor, you know, the ridiculous fucking bullshit woo woo flavor. Like that's where I found the heart of it. I found the fucking dark heart of it.
Yeah. So I looked up out of curiosity, like Saint Germain starseed, which is people that believe that they have
just throw two words together.
Alien ancestry. Yeah. No, because I'm thinking this is absolutely something that ties into that. There's a Facebook group called Saint Germain Starseeds with 1,947 members.
Oh my fucking God.
Because I'm sure there's like a group of people that are like, that think that they're alien hybrids.
And like, why not use this guy? This is a compelling character at this point.
No, he is like an Ashtar sort of character, like this sort of cosmic sort of being, this divine being almost that transcends time and identity.
So we'll do the I Am stuff another day.
Yeah.
We'll get into Starseeds another day. Because I think that the Count of Saint Germain opened the door to us in our research of a weird kind of carpool lane. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
To finish this all up, I want to bring it back to the dude, the Count of Saint Germain, the real guy, probably Prince Rakosi, right? Like that's probably who he was. And I want imagine him and Prince Charles of Hesse-Kassel.
Yeah.
Sitting in the fucking jewelry making shit, like just like fucking shining diamonds and shit. And this fucking guy is like, they're talking about a cult. They're talking about real Hermeticism. Cause this is, this is, 50 to 100 years after like those books were printed and translated. And so now it's time, like everyone's had time to fucking read the actual shit. And these guys are talking, and fucking Prince Rakosi is saying like, yeah, as the Count of Saint Germain, I was at Louis XV's house. I was at fucking Versailles, and dude, he had these tiny little diamonds, and like, I had this fucking piece of quartz, dog. I had this fucking piece of quartz that I had cut to look like I didn't think fucking anyone would ever think it was real. It was absurdly big, dude. Like, Charlie, hold my hand. It was the size of our fists put together.
Yeah.
Dude, I took him. He let me take him for a night. I brought him back the quartz fake. He fucking bought it, dude. I left there. Then he sent me to go like spy in Wales. And so he just like left the country with his diamond. It was the greatest thing. And like they're laughing and making jewelry together, talking about actual wizard shit. And then this motherfucker, this musician, spy, con man, whatever the fuck this actual fucking character was, the legend of this motherfucker gets turned into some crazy shit. Some Jesus.
Crazy stuff. Yeah.
Jesus adjacent fucking, my God. I don't, what the fuck?
No, when I look up Saint Germain starseed, also the first Google image search is Ashtar of the Ashtar command.
Fuck.
So like, because I just knew, I'm like, oh, that's Ashtar. Like, that's the same, like.
Every time I hear Ashtar, I think of that video of the ferret lady with the colander on her head, contact Ashtar.
It's the same archetype, and that's going to be another future thing if you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, what are your thoughts? Let's confine it to the Count and like wrap this up. What are your thoughts on the Count?
Brilliant character. Reminds me of Harry Horse. Reminds me of this guy that like comes from sort of like this prestigious background and is like, all right, like, I don't know, kind of fuck all that. I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of prank people. I'm just gonna play by my own rules and have some fun with it.
Just shuck and drive his way through the fucking courts in the 1700s. Yeah,
just going here and there and having adventures. I don't know, shit.
Hanging out with court ladies. Like, it doesn't actually sound that fun. He didn't have these like romps.
Yeah, his actual real life wasn't like so crazy.
He just lived in different places.
He just like lied a lot.
Yeah.
We don't really know the details of like his real life, and I don't know.
And like
he made music. He was a musical person.
But then also there's the French general who is also the Count of Saint Germain, who was actually an adventurer.
Right.
Then there was the other the dude, I just don't remember who he was. And then there was like the fucking performer who was just telling these stories that may or may not have just gotten bundled up with it.
Yeah. If anything, it tells me that.
Did he actually exist? Or was it like, is it a composite through folklore?
Could be a composite.
You know
that's for
saying?
sure.
That's
probably what all of the ascended masters are. Like, that's what Jesus is, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
In my humble opinion.
No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
The only difference between Jesus and the Count of Saint Germain is there's historical records of the Count of Saint Germain.
Right. Different character.
He left some evidence behind.
Different character. Different prototype.
At least there's an opera. You know, Jesus didn't write that.
He made music. He was a real person.
Yeah.
But like the character of Saint Germain is different from the Count of Saint Germain for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
all fucked if you ask me.
Yeah. It's interesting how the mythology will far outlive the knowledge of the actual Count of Saint Germain, I think.
Or he was Hermes.
Yeah. Or not even like a person, maybe just a front.
I just added one to the list. It wasn't even on. I didn't even fucking. That's Hermes.
Yeah.
Fuck nay.
Yeah, I don't know. The Count of Saint Germain, if he's a real person, was obviously I get the vibe of a very private individual, because why else make your identity so obscure on purpose and tell so many outrageous stories and like build up your mythos? Which,
I mean, if he was actually like a hidden son of some like Transylvanian prince whose family got wiped out or something, and there's history there that I didn't read too deeply into. I could see it going one of two ways. Either you like take a boring assumed name and you just like rock with that one the entire time, or you just go like, because I mean, there's no internet, there's no cell phones, there's no one like really checking. You know what I mean? Like they could write letters.
Do you think
like,
the Transylvania thing tied into the vampire legend?
It has to, right?
Yeah,
it fucking has to. But like also Transylvania's, I want to go there so bad. It looks so cool. It looks so beautiful.
I don't know. I was thinking yesterday, okay, so I'm sitting there at my desk and I'm thinking about Jesus, right? As one does. And I'm thinking there's a reason why so many people who don't even like believe in Jesus, when they get scared or like have sleep paralysis, see something spooky, they might choose to just call out and say, you know, Jesus, please protect me, blah, blah, blah. I call upon you, Jesus Christ, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll feel better. This is a thing that I've like seen time and time again mentioned online that like works for people. And it's worked for me when I've been like paranoid and freaked out. I'm like, okay, Jesus, please protect me, even though I don't really believe in you. And like, it just works because what is Jesus? It's like an idea, because nobody could be that perfect. And you know that like this idea of Jesus, this idea of this like mythical being just can't exist, right? You would think there's some people that would like to maybe take it absolutely, I don't know, have a fundamentalist reading of it, completely literal. But
in your hour of need, John McAfee shows up with a margarita.
Yeah, you could call upon John McAfee, like fucking John McAfee, please protect me. I could do that. And holy shit, that would work too.
Oh, the situation, that might be the right one.
It would work too, depending on the situation. If I'm in a bar and like some dudes are like giving me like a hard time or something, I'm going to be like, John McAfee, please deal with these men.
You get a letter from the IRS.
Yeah.
John McAfee, protect me from the IRS.
Yeah, so like what is Saint Germain, not Count of Saint Germain, but Saint Germain, it's an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is like about the I am activity and shit, I think they just kind of took the name and turned it into something else. And I think that's why the lady that runs the Search for Saint Germain blog, like she isn't about that.
Oh, no. No, because like they took it and fucking ran with it. Okay, I said they're just creating tulpas, but literally, like, they're not. They're just lying.
Yeah, they're just.
I do believe the idea of like Saint Germain is in itself like a thought form.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah.
Not a tulpa, but a thought form. I think if you wanted to make a Saint Germain tulpa, you could.
Or, it could be egregore. That's an egregore status, I guess. Oh no, I don't know, because an egregore is a bunch of people that share a same belief in unification that.
Yeah, I think it's more of a thought form because people disagree about what he is.
Right.
But it does exist as a concept.
Yeah.
That is like, I don't know. You could find unity amongst one group if you decide to align with one belief or the other.
Yeah.
Or you could fucking make your own idea of Saint Germain and manifest him into your life and have him talk to you all day long. I don't know why you would do that though.
Yeah, you know what the coolest job in the world has to be?
What's that?
Running the AI systems that like draw the connections between like beliefs and shit on the internet and see how they spread and how they relate to like other groups of people. Like there's people that do that now.
Definitely.
For sure. And like I'm cheap. I'll do it. I'll do that for pretty cheap.
I do it too.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. So that's the Count of Saint Germain.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to do more research when we're finished recording. It's like 9:30 at night. I'll probably be up until like 11 just on my laptop looking into like crazy stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
there you have it,
There
folks.
you have it.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on all the things you can follow us on at The Nonsense Bazaar.
Mm-hmm. Instagram is where we post the most. It's where that's the easiest for me.
Yeah. We post most on our Instagram. Yeah. Probably the best place to follow us. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you like what we do, leave us a nice review on
reviews
on Apple.
Really help.
Yeah, and
take care.
Thank you for your attention.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bye.